Hello there, Dragonfire here, and I wanted to hop on and talk about Quiet Riot. Definitely one of my favorite bands, and I just saw them in concert. And check a look at this Quiet Riot t-shirt. Yes, Quiet Riot. Look at that. Got it signed by one of the band members there. And I was the first person they let into the concert, actually. Got the VIP treatment. Uh, but yes, I got autographs from the entire band. Um, and yeah, it was really fun seeing. Now, a few of the band members have passed away. Obviously, this is not the original lineup, but still really fun to see Quiet Riot. So I thought I would go through my Quiet Riot discography here, or at least the ones I have. I don't have all of them. And let's do a rundown here, though, of what I do have. So first, one I got was this one here. Metal Health is probably their most famous album, the one they are most well known for. It is their third album overall, but the first to be released in the United States of America, with their first two albums being released in Japan. And it was the first heavy metal album of any subgenre to, any subgenre of heavy metal um, to go uh, to number one on the charts, the number one album. And uh, this when this hit number one, it really caused an explosion of hair metal. There were other hair metal bands before this. There was, Motley Crue put out their first album in '81. I would argue that Van Halen is a hair metal band. They put out their first album in '78, and I think Van Halen really started the movement. But once Quiet Riot had a number one album with Metal Health, um, it it went all the way to number one, meaning that everyone wanted to sign another band like a Quiet Riot and wanted to promote because they were like, okay, these albums they sell. The two big hits off these albums are the first two tracks, which are Metal Health, subtitled Bang Your Head, and Come On Feel the Noise. Come On Feel the Noise is a cover of Slade, and Quiet Riot had a big hit with it. They probably became more famous than the Slade version of the song. Um, I think this entire album is fantastic. Don't Want to Let You Go, Slick Black Cadillac, Love's a Bitch, Breathless, Run for Cover, Battle Axe, Let's Get Crazy, and Thunderbird. Love every track on this album. I do have a special edition remastered, um, you know, bonus uh, CD that was put out uh, much later. This one from 2001, uh, Metal Masters Special Edition, and it does have bonus tracks of Danger Zone and Slick Black Cadillac Live. Still a live version of that song. And next up, the next one that I got from my Quiet Riot collection would be uh, Greatest Hits. Now, a number of these songs are, of course, from the Metal Health album, but um, they also have a few from their other '80s albums as well. Um, and so a good song. Some people, don't know anything because the band didn't have as much success after Metal Health. But if you don't know some of the songs that they that they had after Metal Health, I think they're worth listening to. So this greatest hits, it has Come On Feel the Noise and then Bang Your Head, Metal Health, Slick Black Cadillac, The Wild and the Young, Mama We're All Crazy Now, Party All Night, The Joker, Stay With Me Tonight, Calling the Shots, and then live versions of Bang Your Head Mental Health and Let's Get Crazy. Now there is a typo on the greatest hits. You can see it's Let's Go Crazy um, on the back cover, but the actual song is Let's Get Crazy. So that is a typo, and it's not one of those situations where Quiet Riot just spelled the word incorrectly on purpose, because they actually did do that with a number of their song titles. They would spell words wrong on purpose. But um, okay, next up, I want to show you this really cool box set that I got, that I found after having picked up the Greatest Hits album. And you know, if I had gotten this box set first, I might not have gotten the Greatest Hits album, because everything from the Greatest Hits is on this box set. But what this is, um, it actually has 5 albums, which are there are 4 albums from the 1980s, as well as a live compilation, a compilation of live recordings. So when I take it out here, and they come out and they look like miniature vinyls. So okay, so first up there we're gonna have Condition Critical. This was the next album after Mental Health. Mental Health came out in '83. Condition Critical in '84. Um, it was a follow-up to Mental Health. A lot of people say it's Mental Health Part 2, just not quite as good. I agree with that. I still think it's a good record. I just don't think it's quite as good as Mental Health. Um, and a number of the songs from the greatest hits are on this. I like Stomp Your Hands and Clap Your Feet. I like Mama We're All Crazy Now. I think this is a pretty good record. Just like with Mental Health, they do have one cover. It's a cover of a Slade song again. So they were trying to reproduce the success of Mental Health. They said, hey, we covered a Slade song last time and it worked for us. What if we cover another Slade song? Um, I don't even remember which song it is, but I do enjoy this album. I do think it is underrated. Um, then next little sleeve here. Okay, this is QR3, and this was the next one. I forget what year it came out. I think 87. Yeah, I want to say QR3 came out in '87. It was the next one um, after Condition Critical. '86. Sorry, '86. QR3 came out in '86, and I think a few of the songs that are on the greatest hits do come from this album. Okay, um, and then they came out with just QR. Now, just for context, it's like, what is this QR? You know, QR. Of course, QR, the initials of the band, Quite Right. But it's like, why is there a QR and then a QR? You know, a QR3 and then QR. So, the first 2 albums, like I said, were actually only released in Japan, and they were released as Quiet Riot and Quiet Riot 2. So they had a self-titled album and a Quiet Riot 2. So since the next album was called QR3 and this one's called QR, some people would refer to this as QR4. But it was their final album of the 1980s. Came out in '88, and you can see the band has had some turnover there. You can just tell, it's like, where is where's Kevin DuBrow in that? You can't not recognize Kevin DuBrow. He's sorry, buddy, but you're kind of ugly. So everybody, you're kind of instantly recognizable. But no, R.I.P. Kevin DuBrow. Uh, it's all good, man. It's all good to be ugly. Just cover your face with a mask. It's all good. Anyway, yeah, and then let's see here. Okay, so here is the Mental Health that came with this box set. Again, I'm showing you all the CDs from this box set. Um, and so Mental Health came with that. And everything of these are all designed to look exactly like the way that they would have looked on the original vinyl, just in much smaller CD form. And I actually used to, back in the day, have an actual vinyl of Mental Health, and man, I wish I still had it. Okay, um, and then this one, uh, live performances. Now, all of these performances were not from the same concert, they were taken from different concerts, but all of the concerts were either in 83 or 84, so right at the height of their fame, and they're going out and doing the live um, performances and just doing some of their greatest hits, some of the best songs. Uh, Most of them are probably songs from the 83 and 84 albums, you know, Condition Critical and Mental Health. But yeah, really good stuff here. There might be one or two songs that don't appear on those albums, but probably everything's from the 80s albums. So I have that five disc box set. And, yeah, it's got all their 80s albums plus live in concert 83 and 84. Great stuff there to kind of um, to have a good Quiet Riot collection. And I like their stuff. I know that people say, oh, they never did anything after Mental Health. They didn't have the commercial success after Mental Health was over, but they were still an excellent band. And I um I picked this one up when I happened to come across it at a place with reduced price and just CD rack and stuff. And I basically got this one off name recognition because hey, it's a Quiet Riot CD, and you can see the mask there that originated on the Mental Health uh, cover. That mask has become kind of a logo for the band, and of course it was on the Condition Critical cover. It You can kind of see it in the background of the QR3. Um, you can see it in the background behind the letters of Quiet Riot. Um, you don't see it on QR4 or QR whatever you want to call it, but you do see it on QR3 and Mental Health and Condition Critical. So I got this one, Hollywood Cowboys, you know. And you know what? This is not bad for something that came out 2019 towards the very end of the 2010s. Um, from an old hair metal band, you know, they actually do a pretty okay job with this. It's not bad. Um, you can see again the mask on the cover of their greatest hits. So it's kind of almost the mask itself has become kind of a logo. You see nobody's even wearing it on this. It's just the mask with no face behind it. But yeah, it's become like this logo for the band. But I just had to do it. So I went ahead and uh, found myself a copy. I had to search the internet far and wide, but I found a copy of the original Quiet Riot album. And if you don't know, when this band put out their first two albums in Japan, Randy Rhoads was a member of the band. He later left to do to play in Ozzy Osbourne's band before his unfortunate passing. And I'm trying to move it so they don't get so much glare, um, but yeah, Quiet Riot 1. This is a reissue, and it does come with some bonus tracks, three bonus tracks, but the original version of the album is all here, the original 12 tracks. And this has the uh, some great stuff, some great guitar work by Randy Rhoads. But the whole band is really good here. The whole band is pretty awesome. So yeah, if you can get a hold of it and it ain't cheap, um, get yourself a copy of Quiet Riot 1, QR1, if you will, and QR2. And these two came out in the late 70s. I believe they actually both were released in 78. One at the beginning of the year and one at the end of the year. But they both were released in 78, got released before that in 79. But yes, these are the two late 70s albums, the ones that were only released in Japan. So yes, this is quite right too. It's kind of hard to read, but across the top in letters there, it does have the words Quiet Riot and then the no Roman numerals for two. So Quiet Riot I. This is QR2, and um, this is also a reissue, but they did not add any bonus tracks to this reissue, like they did with Quiet Riot 1. So, this is actually where the song Slick Black Cadillac originates on this album, and then, of course, would uh, later reappear on the Mental Health album. I think it was the one track that they redid for Mental Health. The band did break up for a little while. That's why there's such a gap between their 78s. There's their albums from 78 and then getting back together and releasing a new album in America in 83. But yes, that is my Quiet Riot discography. So happy to have all of their early materials from the 70s and 80s, as well as some live stuff, and even some later stuff in the greatest hits collection. Really good. So um, I do think that Quiet Riot is an underrated band. Weird album cover for their second album, but uh, I like the first record. Of course, this is where they would really find the band's identity, and their logo going forward would be the great the mask that I'm sure was an inspiration for the one Hannibal Lecter would wear in Silence of the Lambs that didn't come out till almost a decade after this. Silence of the Lambs came out in '91, and this is all the way back in '83. So, but yes, Quiet Riot, very influential on the scene there for the hair metal bands, because after Quiet Riot hit number one, like I mentioned before, when they hit number one, that made everyone want to sign more of these bands and see how many records they could sell, all the record labels. So after '83 and Mental Health goes to number one, all of a sudden all these other bands start getting signed. Who knows if you know we would have gotten a band like Poison who put out their first album in '86, or Firehouse, Danger Danger, even Guns N' Roses, all that kind of stuff. All those bands, they were giving bands like that a chance. L.A. Guns, yeah, so many came after Quiet Riot. Very few really were signed to a record deal before Quiet Riot. Um, so Quiet Riot really busted open the door for everybody else to come charging through. All right, I hope you enjoyed this review, and God bless everybody. Dragonfire out.